Bradford City have today confirmed their third and fourth departures of the 2026 January transfer window, as centre-back Tom McIntyre has had his loan spell from Portsmouth cut short and Brad Halliday has had his contract terminated by mutual consent. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new, can we try and hit 200 likes on today's video? And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below on this news. It's been a very busy week so far for Bradford City. We've got another two departures to talk about in today's video. Let's waste no further time and get straight into it. Again, may I remind you about the tier 3 channel memberships. We go back to 4 days ago when it was expected that Brad Halliday would leave the football club, and also Tom McIntyre. There is another person on this list which I'm sure we are awaiting the departure, I think is fair to say. We'll start out firstly though with Tom McIntyre. His article from Bradford City does then read that McIntyre returns to Portsmouth. Bradford City AFC can announce we have exercised the option to terminate Tom McIntyre's loan deal, which will see the defender return to Portsmouth today. The 27-year-old made 11 appearances for Graham Alexander's side after joining in the summer. Everyone at the club would like to thank Tom for his services and wish him all the best for the future. Portsmouth, their statement is also pretty short and sweet. It reads, McIntyre returns from Bradford. Tom McIntyre has returned to Pompey after his loan spell at Bradford was cut short by the League One club. The 27-year-old centre-back moved to the Bantams on transfer deadline day in September and made a total of 11 appearances for the club. McIntyre arrived at Fratton Park from Reading in 2024 and has featured 14 times for the Blues, also having a loan stint with Charlton last term. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I'm not too surprised by this news. For whatever reason, Tom McIntyre hasn't played enough football so far this campaign for Bradford City. To be 27 years of age, I think he's had only 3 league starts so far this campaign, and when we've had big injury crises, if that's even the right terminology, then McIntyre even then has struggled to get into that Bradford City team. But I think there's a good player in Tom McIntyre, very good technically, very good passer, not the most physical of centre-halves. I think he's only 6'1", something like that, and Alexander likes 6'2", 6'3", and a little bit higher. So I can maybe understand from that point of view why you wouldn't want to play him against Port Vale and those sort of teams, and Lincoln, who are just going to boom the ball forward. But I feel like when you're playing against maybe a bit more of a smaller striker, having somebody like a McIntyre in the team is very beneficial because of his technical ability. But unfortunately, Alexander didn't see it that way, and again, we've seen so far in this transfer window, if players are not playing for Bradford City, then what's the point in just keeping them around? Move them on and try and get somebody else in better who you are more likely to play. And I do wish Tom McIntyre all the best. You know, he had a decent contribution towards this season so far, and I would anticipate he's either going to be sold or loaned out to another League One football club now. If we have a look then at Tom McIntyre's statistics from this campaign so far, as you can see, he did play on 7 occasions in the league for Bradford City, just 3 of those have been starts where he played less than 280 minutes. For somebody who's now 28 years of age, pushing 28 years of age, that is simply not enough. He hasn't scored a goal for Bradford City and didn't register an assist. As we can see, nearly an 80% accurate pass rate, which for the way that we play, I do think is very impressive. Defensively, didn't keep a clean sheet in any of his starts, just 0.9 interceptions per game, 0.4 tackles per game, 2.6 balls recovered per game, and 4 clearances per game as well, with 0.6 block shots. No errors which led to a shot or a goal, and no penalty offences committed. He did win 73% of his ground duels and 65% of his aerial duels, which I do think is really good for the type of centre-half that he is. But apart from duels, none of his other statistics are really standing out. Maybe his passing. So I guess that does kind of add up with what I've been saying, really. He's not the most physical of centre-halves, but he's a decent technician at the end of the day. Away from Tom McIntyre then, another not maybe a legend, but certainly a fan favourite at Bradford City, has left the club in the way of Brad Halliday. The article does then read that Brad Halliday has left Bradford City AFC by mutual consent, allowing him to take up an opportunity elsewhere. Halliday, who departs the club after 3.5 years, claimed 6 awards at the club's 2023-24 end-of-season dinner and was named in the Sky Bet League 2 Team of the Season. The defender made 43 appearances last season and was a key part of City's return to Sky Bet League 1, earning himself himself a place in the PFA Team of the Year. During his time in West Yorkshire, Halliday represented the Bantams on 173 occasions and found the back of the net on 8 times. Everyone at Bradford City AFC would like to thank Brad for his services and wish him the very best for the future. Now, it was confirmed around 10 or 15 minutes after our statement that he has joined Scottish Premiership side, and that is Dundee United. Their statement reads, Dundee Football Club. Sorry, I've got that one very wrong. It's not Dundee United, it's Dundee FC. Big apologies, not a great way to start, but Dundee FC are delighted to announce the signing of experienced defender Brad Halliday on a 2.5-year deal from Bradford City. After both clubs agreed terms, this transfer is subject to international clearance. The 30-year-old right-back joins the D after 3.5 years at the Bantams. Brad was part of the youth team set up at Middlesbrough, including several loans out to York City, Hartlepool United and Accrington Stanley, before joining Cambridge United on a permanent transfer. He stayed at Cambridge for 3 years, shorter stints at Doncaster Rovers and Fleetwood Town followed, before moving to Bradford City in the summer of 2022. He quickly became a fan's favourite at Valley Parade, being nicknamed the Ginger Cafu, and was included in the EFL League 2 Team of the Year last season. I feel like it was the season before that. I think that one might be slightly wrong. He has made over 450 senior appearances in his career. Speaking after joining the Dark Blues, Brad said, I'm delighted to finally be up here. My best mate in football, Joe Wright, was at Kilmarnock last year. He gave me his insight and experience on the Scottish Premiership. I'm really excited and can't wait to get going. Brad will wear the number 16 for Dundee, not United. Welcome to the D, Brad. If you're interested in how the Scottish Premiership table does look at this moment in time, then Dundee are currently down in 9th. I think the bottom team definitely goes down, and then I think 11th play in a relegation sort of playoff match. I'm not 100% sure, but Dundee, they've won 3 of their last 5, and, you know, they're a million miles away from climbing up that table, but he's going to be, hopefully, well, actually, he won't be going to Celtic and Rangers, all that sort of stuff this season, will he? Because I think the table splits after the halfway point. It's very confusing, is the Scottish Prem, but good luck to Brad Halliday. I think this is certainly a very good move for Brad Halliday. Obviously, he gets a bit of security for his family. A 2.5-year contract is certainly very good for him and his family, given that he was out of a deal with Bradford City in the summer. Probably wasn't going to play that much between now and the end of the season, especially given Josh Nerfield seems to be coming back into the side, and obviously yesterday's recruit of Harrison Ashby. The writing did seem to be on the wall, really, for Brad Halliday. But again, similar to Andy Cook, I wish him nothing but the best. He was a brilliant servant to Bradford City, 3.5 years, and a joy to watch at times. You know, there was a couple of seasons where you think Brad Halliday might find himself on the bench a little bit, but he always worked his way back into the side. Even this campaign, he started 5 of Bradford City's last 6 league matches, and now he finds himself out of the door. Maybe surprised that he's gone by mutual consent. That'll obviously mean we'll probably pay up, I don't know, maybe 60% of his contract as an example, rather than getting a transfer fee, or maybe sending him out on loan and they pay a percentage towards his wages. But like I say, wish him nothing but the best. I think in terms of the player that Dundee are getting, certainly if you're going to play him as a wing back, he's much better on the defensive side, but can certainly do it going forward. I'm not 100% clued up on the Scottish Premiership and what sort of standard you're looking at across the majority of the table. Obviously, I know you have your big 3 really at the top, certainly this season with Hearts, Rangers and Celtic, but then the rest of the league, I think Brad Halliday will certainly be more than good enough to hold his own in that division. I think he's, you know, a very experienced player, a top professional as well. I think that's certainly a big thing that you can say about Brad Halliday. Will always give it 110%. At times might lack a little bit of ability going forwards. You know, he's not going to drop a step over and beat a man, but even if he loses the ball, he's going to, you know, graft his bollocks off really and win that ball back. And that's all you can really ask for as a fan, is to see players be 100% committed and 100% in, and that's what Bradford City was to Brad Halliday. And I think Brad Halliday certainly brought his A game in a lot of seasons. We saw in that season where he got to the League 2 Team of the Year. You know, he was brilliant in that season. The year before that, when we got into the playoffs, he was fantastic. Then you look at last season as well, where he played a key part in our promotion after maybe looking like he was going to be displaced by Jay Ben in the beginning of the campaign. But he always worked his way back into the side. Scored a couple of pretty memorable goals as well, a lot of match winners in there. But unfortunately, again, for somebody who is now at 30 years of age, he probably hasn't played enough first team football so far this campaign. He has played 11 league appearances 5 of those being starts, and they have come in our last 6 league matches. He's played just over 450 minutes, where he hasn't scored a goal in the league so far this season, but has apparently missed 2 big chances. In terms of passing stats then, no assists so far, no big chances created, and to be honest, his passing stats don't look amazing. Only a 17% accurate cross rate, only a 64% accurate pass rate generally, but defensively, again, these stats don't look particularly great. 0.6 interceptions per game, 0.8 tackles per game, 2.5 balls recovered per game, and 1.5 clearances per game as well. And in terms of some of his other statistics then, wins 46% of his ground duels, but 69% of his aerial duels. A lot of the times we would put our goal kicks out to our wing backs, and Brad Halliday was always very good at winning those. But maybe League One was a little bit of a step too far for Brad Halliday at this stage in his career. But you look at him in League Two over the last couple of seasons, where he played nearly 3,500 minutes last campaign, scored a couple of goals, got a fair few assists, created some big chances, defensively was very solid as well, very good in the dual statistics, and that was a consistent throughout all of his time really at Bradford City. This was the year that he made it into the team of the year, played over 3,700 minutes, scored 4 goals in that season. He also registered another 4 assists, created 10 big chances. You know, Brad Halliday on his day is certainly a very, very good player, and again, defensively, absolutely brilliant in that season, despite giving away 2 penalties. So again, I wish Brad Halliday and Tom McIntyre, but especially Brad Halliday, nothing but the best going forward. What servant Halliday's been. If we have a look then at how Bradford City's squad is now lining up for the 2025-26 League One campaign, as you can see then, we're now looking a little bit more healthy in terms of right wing back. It did certainly feel like we were carrying an extra body, which we didn't really need to do. There's some strong rumours at the moment that Crawley Town and Fleetwood Town are interested in left wing back Lewis Richards, so who knows what that could maybe bring. But I think certainly looking at our defence, there are maybe other defenders I'd be more keen on getting out of the door before Tom McIntyre personally, but I certainly do think we are going to now need to bring in another one. Obviously with McIntyre going back, it does now mean we can bring in another loan. Obviously you can only have 5 in a matchday squad. We've now back down to 3 loan players, and obviously there is some strong rumours about Ethan Wheatley coming in on loan from Manchester United. There's still the rumours of Hindolo Mustafa, I think his name was, from Crystal Palace. So who knows, we'll have to wait and see what does happen. I've also added Andy Cook back onto this graphic, because obviously he's not left on a permanent deal. He is actually still out on loan, but we still need another striker, still could do with another right attacking midfielder, still need another holding midfielder to compete with Max Power, and then we'll need a couple of centre-backs when hopefully a couple others do move on. But I think it's been a really good start to the transfer window, really ruthless. Yes, we've seen 3 fan favourites leave really in Alex Patterson, Andy Cook and Brad Halliday, but unfortunately that is the nature of the beast, and that is what potential promotion to the Championship might bring, that some of these brilliant servants to us over the last couple of years may need to move on. So I wish all of them nothing but the best. Brad Halliday moving on to Dundee, Tom McIntyre going to Portsmouth and will no doubt go on loan or be sold to another League One side, but there is still more business to be done by Bradford City. Who knows, maybe Wheatley could be announced today. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there then for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well if you are new. Can we try and hit 200 likes, as I said at the start of today's video? And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below on both of these departures. Thank you all for watching, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you very soon for another one.